I'm going to call roll. I hope a few more people are going to be. Um, this is the meeting of the Middle School Building Committee. I'm Pat Nelson, co-chair, and I call this meeting to order. And let's do a roll call. Heather Bout,
Good morning.
and Peter Fishalis, Dawn Corelio,
Present. Good morning.
Andrew Herchuk, Tim Holt,
Present.
Lori Hunter,
Good morning.
Mark Howell, not yet. Carrie's not going to be with us today. Pat Nelson, I'm here. Charlie Parker,
Hi there.
Sandeep. Nope. Chris Popov,
Good morning.
Matt Root,
Good morning.
and Steven Stashewski. I think we have a quorum. Oh, here's Sandeep. Good morning, Sandeep. And before we start, I asked Paul to tell me who he was, but for those of you who weren't here before, if Paul could. And CBW 85, I can't see your face, and I could, if you could also just introduce yourself to everybody since you're on the screen. So Paul,
Yes.
you want to just,
Yes. Thank you. Hi, my name is Paul Condra. I'm a New England Regional Manager for Lero Hill, so work closely with Vinny and Hunter.
thank you, Paul.
And I'm Michael Williams, school committee member, but just observing the proceedings.
Okay. I just didn't know if you were representing the school committee or not today. All right. Let's start the meeting with the approval of the minutes from August 21st. Did anyone have any comments on the set of minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Heather,
Yes.
Don Grelio,
Yes.
Tim Holt,
Yes.
Lori Hunter,
Yes.
Pat Nelson, yes. Charlie Parker,
Yes.
Sandeep, Chris Popov,
Yes.
and Matt Root. Sandeep, did I hear you say yes?
No, so I wasn't officially on the
The
committee at
committee
that point,
then.
so I don't
Okay.
know if I should.
Okay.
Abstain. Yeah.
Abstain. Yeah, can abstain.
I'm a yes, Pat.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. Do we have a correspondence report?
Not really. There wasn't any correspondence that was public coming in, and I don't really have a communications update right now. So I'll keep us sufficient.
Can I
Oh,
can I
Dawn,
comment on just there was communication a few months ago, I think Linda was her first name, asking about the front entry and where the steel comes down, and there was concern about how it looked. I happened to drop something off for my daughter at the middle school the other day. There's a cap on it now. It looks really nice.
Yeah.
So just wanted to share for the public as far as correspondence goes. That was addressed, and I assume that was a punch list item, but they look really nice now. So as you enter the building, kind of the base where the steel chevrons come in, there's a nice metal closure piece. It looks good. So thank you to the team, whoever made that decision and finished it that way. It looks really nice now.
Thank you, Don. Thank you. Okay, OPM update.
Absolutely. Let me pull that up for you.
Can I
You all
just
see
ask
that?
something,
Yeah,
Pat?
go for it, Don.
Hunter, thank you. I just wanted to, I think we got a letter as far as
Yes.
personnel and whatnot, and maybe, is it Paul? Maybe Paul wants to just address that publicly.
Yeah.
To let
Thank
everyone
you.
know as far as personnel goes, might be worth sharing.
Yes, thank you, Don. Yeah, that was the reason I joined the call today. So I wrote a letter to the school committee informing all of you that we've had a couple staffing changes within our group. They do come at I guess a opportune time because we're now finishing the physical construction and it was part of, our ramp down anyway. But Ian Parks, who you worked closely with for a while, he's now he accepted a position, great position for him. We're happy for him, sad to lose him from us, but he's moving on to be in charge of capital projects at Northeastern University. And then Trevor Fuchs, who joined the project back in March to assist with PM duties. He's also accepted a position with another firm and is moving on as well. I assure you that like there's going to be no loss in continuity of anything. Vinny, you all know well, and Hunter as well have been involved with the project for quite some time. Hunter has really been kind of a lot of the energy behind a lot of the documentation that you've seen that Ian has presented in the past. So it just gives him the opportunity to step in front of the camera and out from behind it. But both have been indispensable. And we do have a large, deep staff, and we have, several people behind the scenes that have been assisting with the project and will continue to do so. But I have full confidence in Hunter and Vinny and Hunter. I keep wanting to call you Tina this morning, but yeah, I wanted to, just kind of reassure you. So I will attend. I've been attending some of the leadership meetings throughout the last months since I joined the firm. I joined the firm in February. So I've been involved with the project as well, and I'm going to make sure that I'm attentive to some of the leadership meetings and come to these meetings just to make sure everything's going smoothly. But I have full confidence that we'll be good with Vinny and Hunter here, and yeah, we'll go there. So can I answer any questions that you may have, or we can move into the rest of the report?
No, thank you for that. And thanks, Vin and Hunter, for finishing things out for us.
Not a problem. So we're gonna split the presentation. Hunter's gonna review the financials. He's gonna drive from his laptop, and then we can get into the construction report. I'll have more detail towards that. Hunter, if you will.
Absolutely, Ben. You all see that?
We can see the agenda.
Perfect. So we are going to be going through the financial update as well as CTA change orders, the PCOs that have been approved by the TRC and assembled by Jen. And then we will jump into our construction progress report with Vin. So our budget summary, after all these years, I'm sure you're familiar with this document. Looking at our expenditures to date for construction, we're looking at roughly 86,183,309, with 1,667,000 remaining. Going down, we have our architectural and engineering bucket, as well as our OPM administrative cost budget, as well as all their consultants. You can see the balances are beginning to lessen as we get closer to the end of the project here. We have our 99 grand in forecasted costs. That's just tied to PCOs we're currently reviewing, some of those being a credit, so we expect that number to go down as we go through those. And moving down, you can see for our construction contingency, for our hard cost construction contingency, we're sitting at roughly 2 million there. Bid savings, another 245, with owner soft cost contingency at 321,000, coming out to roughly 5 million in contingency. Once you tie in the bid contingency, you're looking at a number of about 7 million, which for this stage in the project is probably the healthiest contingency I've seen on any project I've worked on. So we're in a very good spot as we come down to the final months. And looking forward, our $101,477,952 out of our $111,516,000 on this project has been billed, with roughly 10 million remaining. This line we touched on briefly last month. This is the irrigation work that we've broken out separately from construction costs. It's still being covered, but it is coming from a separate funding source. So for this month, they're billing roughly 67% of the irrigation system, although as Vin will show you in a moment, they're much further along in the field. We anticipate that being billed in full next month, as seeding is actually beginning today, and then that water will be utilized. They've already got it tested and running, so that should be completely billed by next month. Any questions with the budget summary or things I didn't cover? All right, we will move on to the contingency graphics. On the contingency I just touched on, hard cost construction contingency, we have that 1.9 million remaining, roughly 42%. With those 2% in forecasted costs, those PCOs I mentioned that are currently under review. And soft cost owner contingency, we're looking at a healthy 37% there with $321,943. Any questions with the contingency?
It's not.
For our TRC log, these are the two change orders that we will be reviewing this meeting. One for $1,491, the other $6,822 to bring our current change order balance to roughly $2 million in hard cost contingency, and then no changes to our soft cost contingency this past month, so that remains at $357,000. And moving down, we can see our invoices that we've been pushing through and reviewing. With the TRC, we have our Town of Concord salaries, we've got FF&E, FINA testing services. FINA's wrapping up most of their work on site. And SMMA's invoices, their consultants, legal fees, and AKF, our commissioning agent, coming out to, for this past month, our invoices totaling just under 100 grand. Any questions with the change orders or invoices or anything I can expand on? Hearing none, we will proceed to the cash flow. So let's get us down to September where we are. So as you can see, our projections for the next couple of months, a lot of these items are beginning to close out as we get towards the end of the year, eventually working towards this number on the bottom right, our $111,516,000. We're currently reviewing financials every week with the town, and just to analyze where our budget stands with certain consultants and if we can close those out and uncommit those costs and return those items to contingency. So we anticipate some of that money coming back. And that's reflected below on our cash flow graph, showing our estimated expenditure and actual expenditure over time. And as you can see, once we get to the end of this year, many of our expenses are going to drop off and not much change there. Any questions with the cash flow? All right, hearing none, I will pass it over to Vin for our construction update.
So the good news is we are leaning on the edge of substantial completion. The billables that just got approved yesterday for the rec put us above 99%. In phase one, the punch list, we list 17 items here. The majority of them are on the outside of the building, landscaping specific items. Inside the building, the only issue we have is the carpet. The lead time on the carpet continues. It is scheduled for this coming week, the 23rd. And then it'll be 2 days to install, and that'll be behind us. There is some commissioning items going on with the HVAC system. There are no real surprises. It's just trying to make sure that the rooftop units and the LG units speak with the building management system efficiently. And that's been going on. We have another meeting today about it. It's listed here as phase 2 abatement demo and fields. Truth is, it's only fields. The fencing is up, the irrigation is in place, it has been tested. It's been tested, and the lone remaining item is there is a pump that has to be replaced on the irrigation system because the original one was too old, and that has a lead time and it's anticipated for the week of October 1st. So call it the middle of October, there will be virtually nothing else other than to watch grass grow. As Hunter said earlier, we have hydro seeding going down today and over the next 3 days. The playground went in smooth. That is in. You'll see a couple of pictures, if you will. Thank you. Well, it'll be the next picture. The baseball diamonds are up. The pictures you see here are the backstops going up. They're fully erected and in place. We are there, and that's it. Really, the truth is everything we have left is small items. There is no surprising issues coming up. There are no more curveballs. We have some financial closeouts, but other than that, we are in great shape. Oh,
Great to
I
hear,
think- I
Ben.
apologize. I went in front of this. I apologize. Excuse me?
That's great to hear.
Oh, great to hear. This
You were
picture is the
excited to give us the
playground.
punchline, Vinny.
There is no punchline, Matt. This is a
That we're
great,
done. Yeah, you skipped over the playground here.
yeah. The playgrounds that I was talking about a moment earlier, the school hired a third-party vendor to get this in through the project. And he's doing the contractor's doing other playgrounds in the town. So he ended up putting in a great system. It went up efficiently. It's been signed off. It's been inspected, and we are ready to go. As we open the fields will have to be isolated to let the grass grow for several seasons. However, we're going to set up snow fence so that you can go from the school to the basketball court and the playground. So the kids will have egress to this almost immediately, while the rest of the fields will be hands off for better than a year. And that's really where we are. The punchline, you're right, Matt, is we're done. You know, the punch list is always an item, but there is no large item. Last month, Dawn asked if the contractors were showing. Everybody showed. I have a plumber here right this morning who unscheduled showed up just to check on a water heater that he thought might have a problem. So the continuity of the subcontractors has been fantastic. We're in a good place. And that's really my report. Back to you, Hunter.
Chris, you got a question?
Yeah, just real quick. Looks as if you're able to tap into the well down by the lower field to help with maybe irrigation. Is that right?
Yes, that is the design plan is to use the well. Last month or the month prior, we had it tested and approved through the water department that it could handle the load. And it is in the temporary state until the pump is in place that I mentioned a moment ago. There is a meter on a fire hydrant so that the contractor can use the fire hydrant to service the irrigation system until the pump is in place. So for about 2 weeks, we'll be off a metered fire hydrant, and then after that, we'll be well water. And it will be self-sufficient.
Yes, Don.
I was just going to say it's worth driving by if you haven't. I picked up my daughter yesterday. The irrigation system was on, their sprinklers were going. She reported that the baseball field's in because she can see it from the classrooms. And then you can see the playground. It's closer to the building than the street, but it's pretty cool to watch it all. So good job out there, guys.
And I've been in constant contact with the abutters. There's usually a few folks that show up on every project. And there's always a curveball somewhere. I've had a real strong relationship with the abutters, and they're really, really happy with the project. Specifically, the farm that is down below the softball field. Those folks were active in this project all along, and we did a walkthrough about a week ago, and she was very happy. A husband and wife was very happy in what they saw.
Penny, I want to thank you for being so responsive to the neighbors. And I saw a lot of the correspondence that went between the folks that are on the farm below. And it's kind of surreal to hear you say we're done. So I will knock on wood and I will will believe it when all of your trucks are gone and your
I do hear you there.
temporary offices are gone and the hard hats are gone. But you guys have been terrific, and this is a very exciting committee.
Thank
We
you.
should,
This has been, and I've been here since the early days, Pat, when you first hired us. I have connections back to Jared Stanton. And what I have joy of is watching you folks. Before I was an OPM, I was on my school building committee. So I see through your eyes. I know what the anxiety is. So to see the smiles from you folks is rewarding for me.
I think we're all smiling. Um,
Oh,
if
yeah.
if that's it, do we have some new business?
We are going to jump to the change orders, I believe.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All
Missed that.
good. All good. Just to piggyback on Don's comment, though, coming up Old Marlborough Road from West Concord, coming up over that hill, seeing that pile of soil for like 2 years, it's borderline therapeutic now, looking over to see a laser graded field with sprinklers going.
Yeah.
The kids called it Mount Kelly Majaro because you could see it from the Kelly team. So it's gone now, but that
Oh,
was
man.
what, at least that's what my daughter called it and her friends.
Oh, man.
It's
It's
really
also-
opened up the light in the building because
Yeah.
that's what they were looking at for so long, and now they've got clear runway there to the field. It's great.
I have to say, when I go in that building and look out those back windows now that there's plantings in and pathways and the view out to the woods, it's just, I think, everything we hoped for.
Yeah.
I was speaking to a middle school student and asked him what he liked about the new building. His mother was there, so she was prompting him to speak. But one of the things he said he really liked was the way the teams were organized,
Mhm.
and how that came well for him in his educational journey, which is what we dreamed of. So,
Yeah.
thank you. All right, change orders.
Gail, Jen, you want to tackle these?
Jump in? Yeah, sure. So we just have two change orders, both related to sort of final commissioning items, as we're trying to work through commissioning and making sure we're optimizing the HVAC system. And so change order 67 is related to sequence of operations changes. So that's basically the building management system, and adjusting and tweaking some of these sequences so that we're optimizing the HVAC system. So the VRF is for basically all the cassette units that serve the classrooms. So it's just some minor adjustments. So that was $1,400, basically $1,491.02. Charlie, I think I saw your hand up quickly. Do you have a question? Oh, you're on
Charlie, you're
mute.
muted.
I could bring it up under new business.
And so moving to change order 68, again, related to some commissioning. And this is for the larger air handling units, primarily, which those are the units that serve the larger spaces, the gym and the auditorium. So it says duct static pressure reset, and not a mechanical engineer, but basically, in a nutshell, it's just, again, some of those adjustments as the systems are operating and having to tweak some of the scheduling and settings on those units. So that was total $6,822.54. Those are the only two change orders we have this month. Any questions? And again, I just want to echo Vin and Hunter and everybody's, sentiment that, it's really rewarding for me as an architect at the end of a project to see, people enjoying the building, and especially when the kids are saying how they enjoy how the building was designed and benefiting from it. So I just want to, say it's been really rewarding for me too. So.
There was one question from this young man. Is there was there a change, or he thought that maybe the colors that went with the grades and the floors and the paint on the floors were mixed up? Is that true? I'm
They were
bungled.
never aligned.
They were never aligned.
No.
Okay. I
So,
wish I had known that so I could reassure him that
yeah,
it wasn't a
yeah.
mistake. All
No,
right.
they were never aligned.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So do we need to approve these? Any of
Nope.
these reach the
They've already
level
been, yep, reviewed and
Oh,
approved
perfect.
by the TRC.
Okay.
And thanks, Jen, and the whole design team. I know
Oh,
you're the
yeah.
face
Yeah.
on our on our meetings, but thank you
A
to
lot
your
of people
team as
behind the
well.
scenes too.
Yeah.
Yep, thanks. Pass
Send
that
along
along.
our thanks to your entire team.
Sure, yep.
So Pat, we'll kick it back to you and we can jump into new business.
Okay. New business. Charlie, you had something?
Yeah, I had something that doesn't need to be discussed extensively, but just something I want to tee up. Are we going to get any guidance from the architects and project management team with respect to ongoing maintenance that we'll see over the next, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 years? I think, we definitely want to see a building that's going to have a full life, full productive life of whatever years we think makes sense. And to do that, it's going to require, an ongoing expenditure to keep it the way we want it. Now, I don't know whether that's something that's in the purview of the architecture and PM team to provide us with that guidance, but I wonder if that would be useful, and otherwise, how we handle the turnover of the building with respect to moving from construction and so forth into maintenance.
So
Yeah,
Charlie, if you
Charlie,
may.
go for it,
I'll
man.
jump. Thank you. So in regard to this, I think a benefit that happened on this project specific is that we had phased construction. So while we opened the school back in February, we still were on site and going through the steps of growth here. There is a training component in the contract, and the school's custodian staff and the facility staff go to trainings, and we were able to actually see some of the things that we could improve upon, including the AV systems, for example. Using the auditorium becomes a little challenging. So we have scheduled additional trainings to make sure that not just the music teacher, but others can learn how to use the audiovisual, specifically the hearing impaired equipment that is in that room and in some of the classrooms. Additionally, the HVAC systems, there's been a number of trainings there, and we recognize that the facility staff not only needs a little more training to handle the building management system, but also to get more people involved in that, because there was a reliance to deep train two of the people and three of the people, but in truth, there's probably 5, 6, 7 people that need to know exactly how it works for Concord to manage it efficiently. So I do think the concern you have is being addressed. I think there is additional trainings that will happen, and on every project, there's owner's manuals, and what we have here is video. The majority of the trainings, if not all the trainings, have been videotaped, and there is a library that you can go back to. So recently, there was a teacher that didn't know how to use the hearing impaired equipment, so I pulled off a USB and gave her the training module, and she was able to deal with her student as she needed to. So is it being addressed? Yes, it is. Is it a live item? Yes, it is. But I do think that it's getting, at least from my perspective, the focus that it deserves.
And financially, what do we understand the expectation on an annual basis, what we're going to be spending to maintain the building?
I don't know the answer to
Something
that.
that we can understand.
Yeah, that's certainly my purview. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Bob and I have stayed really, more than stayed close to the project. So we're aware of all the operational impacts. Thankfully, in a new building, they're minimal. But things like even the water treatment plant and making sure that the budget supported that, which is a new operating cost for us, We built that in even this current school year. So I feel like the professional team's done a great job of helping us navigate that and predict it coming. So it will be helpful to have a whole year under our belt as, you know, this first year in the building cycles through, because that sort of lays the groundwork for ongoing recurring things. But we feel like we're close.
Laura, you and Bob also have done a lot of work to build capital forecasting for all the buildings, not just the CMS. So this will be in that, and every year the school committee with Bob and Lori will take a look at all the preventative maintenance items, et cetera, and forecast that out. So this building will fit into that model.
Yep, exactly. Thanks, Andrew. Andrew's here if you didn't know.
Okay, good.
I'm so sorry. So sorry I was late.
Helpful, thank you.
I have one point I'd like to raise. This is Tim Holt. Given all the what we'll call discussion we've had at the high school relating to amenities and bathroom facilities for the outside areas, I just wanted to be clear with regard to this project. It's a very different thing. You know, I was on the high school building committee also, and the issue of planning amenities and facilities for a stadium of that size is completely different than what we're talking about here. Having said that, I would assume that our position with regard to this building and future events that are to be held onto the fields or surrounding it, that the position is there. And I'll just put this out there and people can comment on it, is that if the school is open, the facilities are available to people, you know, for bathrooms. If the school is not open, we will assess that as we go along. And if there needs to be temporary facilities outside, we'll probably put them outside, right? The portalets or whatever. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? Is that our statement as a committee? That issue is not included in the scope of our project. And I think we all recognize that, but because we're talking about it so much at the high school, I just wanted to be clear as to what the position is for this building.
I mean, I can answer for me and the rest of you can chime in. I see it akin to like Ripley here. There's extensive outside fields, and we don't provide access after hours to the building. There's portable units here. So I think it's similar. The high school has different things to it because of the stadium and the plumbing code that goes along with the stadium. We don't have permanent seating at the new school, so that won't have the same impact for compliance and expectation. That said, you know, we're going to want to be sure we've managed the accessibility needs and things like that. So I think it's more aligned with the other schools, not the high school.
That's what I would say. The high school is very different. And the project was very different because that was a public-private partnership in terms of the fields alteration at the high school. So I feel bad about that process because I think we should have had a better attention to it as we were finishing the high school project and how it was actually going to occur. But I think what you outlined is correct. And I just wanted to be clear. I've been asked this question 2 or 3 times by people, given that we're going through this, what's going to happen at the middle school. And I think we outlined what it is, right? If the school's open, you can go inside and we'll figure it out for the outside.
I mean, in good news, and I think to follow that up, and probably who felt that, I pushed hard to try to be sure we didn't have a dangling list of things that didn't get done. So irrigation going in, which we did through our capital plan, the playground that you supported, like there isn't a list. The only thing that's still being talked on is the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail, which I think is now in the school committee purview, if there's a connection there. And I think the school committee's looking for the rail trail committee or others to start to talk about that. I don't think that that's a school project per se, but as far as what the need list is, it's not like the high school where you had 4 to 5 large projects left that didn't get complete.
Right.
And are still in discussion a decade later. I think this has got a nice sense of closure to it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim.
Chris, you had your hand up.
Yeah, just following up on Charlie's comments and Vinny's, it's great to have the beginnings of we'll call it the operations and maintenance manual that'll carry us forward for years to come. But, as folks say over the years, this is going to be a 50-year building at least. So 20, 30 years from now, it'd be nice if people are looking at it and saying, we've allocated enough resources to maintain it, as opposed to have somebody look at it and say, like your old car, we, alas, ran it into the ground. So, we don't want to see that 20, 30 years from now.
Agreed.
Thank
Anyone
you.
else?
Charlie, you got
I have
anything?
one last little one, just following on to Chris's comment. Is this a 50-year building, or is this a 60-year building, or is this a 70-year building? What is the planned duration for this building? What are we trying to do with respect to longevity? I think it would be good to understand that, memorialize what we're trying to achieve here with respect to a long-lasting facility, if that's doable. If that's doable in terms of making a proclamation about it. So where are we with that?
Jen, do you want to comment on that or?
Well, I mean, typically we say it's, we design for 50-year buildings, but, as you know, they definitely can last longer than that. So it's all about how they're maintained. And, I think generally when we're designing, it's, we design for 50 years, but obviously the building will last a lot longer than that. There's components that, you'll need to maintain, and, certain components that will have to be replaced within that 50-year period, but the building itself, is designed for 50 years.
Yeah, I would say when we initiated it, having been the chairman at that time, the 50 years was the discussion. I think it's a hard number to analyze, Charlie. I mean, a number of things can occur, right? The size of the building can be inconsistent with what the community needs. The different and I think, as we saw in our building, the different configuration of space related to the current educational trends is a significant issue. And when you're designing a bishop, and those two that might not coincide with 50 years. So I think the longevity, I think, was estimated at 50 years. I think that's not inconsistent with what we've seen with all the other buildings that we're replacing. But I don't know if there's any really precise way to answer that question.
That's good.
Okay. I don't see anybody else's hands up. Do we have any public comment? Listen, I see your hand up.
Yeah, hi, Pat.
Hi.
Wilson Kerr, 20 Damon Street. I just wanted to say, as I've said many times over the years, just an incredible thank you to this group to listen to this meeting and hear what I thought I heard, which was a professional that's done this for a long time, say I think he said in his career, he's never seen a contingency level like this. To hear the sort of the joy in the voices of the contractors and the companies that we've hired to do this reflects so strongly back on you guys and this group. I think what I just heard on this meeting is extremely rare in projects like this. To be this low, to be this far under budget, on time, on delivery, with 99% completion of phase one, and then to hear the constructive way that you guys talk to each other, the back and forth with the superintendent over an issue like bathrooms or whatever it is just such a fine oiled machine. You guys have done such an incredible job. Listening to these meetings over these years, I just wanted to put that on the record as a member of the public who's not been officially involved. It's just, it's really, really remarkable, and you guys deserve a huge amount of thanks and gratitude.
Well, we'll take that, Wilson. Thank you. And I will just add once again that in my opinion, we allocated resources from the town side and the school side to make this work as smoothly as it worked. They didn't go out there and build the building, but they made sure the building got built right. And I think the town needs to remember that as we think about how we allocate our resources for these sorts of projects. Any other public comments?
Carlin and then Mr. Williams. Yep.
Hi, Carlin Reed, 83 Wits End, member of the Finance Committee, but speaking on my own behalf, thinking about that contingency, perhaps Dr. Hunter or Ms. Dowd can answer this question. Where do we stand on the borrowing for this project?
I'll answer as best I can, given that that's under the town's purview. We learned over the summer they hadn't borrowed right up to the moment, so there's been a little delay. But we heard from Carrie overnight that they're putting short-term bond going out.
Yes, they have a ban they're working on.
A ban. So there's been a little delay there, but it's getting rectified, and all the borrowing will be on track. Gail's working really closely with the town to get to the final numbers. So the borrowing is really tight to what we need. And I think that should wrap it up pretty successfully.
Michael, did you have a comment?
Yes, thank you. Dr. Hunter brought up, and I know that on the committee that
excuse me, for the record, will you just say your name
Michael
and
Williams,
where? Yeah, thank you.
1284 Sudbury Road, a member of the school committee. Dr. Hunter brought up early conversations with the community about the connection between the Ellen Garrison building and the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail. Just to point up, just for our CPS chair, that the window for CPA fundings for that is rapidly approaching, and I know there've been conversations from the community with the committee about that. So just to keep that front of mind in terms of working on whatever steps or stages need to be looked at to facilitate that. That's all I wanted to bring up. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Next steps? Our next meeting is October 16th.
Correct.
Yep. Any other next steps? Hearing none, I will adjourn this meeting.